Hey y'all, welcome back to Ams in Progress, and I am indeed a work in progress. I have been struggling so hard the last couple weeks. We already know about Thanksgiving. We also have the lovely septic tank issues here at my house. It's supposed to be a 2 to 3 day project. We are a week in and they're still working. Thankfully, they didn't show up today, so I can actually film this video and we can have a little bit of peace and quiet in the house, which is lovely. But with the lack of, water being able to leave the house, it's just been a whole mess and very stressful. We've also had my husband's birthday and my birthday. So I'm now 36 years old. Yippee. It's just been a lot, and trying to get on track and stay on track has been harder than it has been in the past. I feel like I really go through these moments in time where I'm really consistent, and being consistent feels easy because I'm already in that groove. And sometimes I feel like, especially like if I don't track for a couple days or go off plan on purpose for like holidays and etc., sometimes it can be really difficult to get back on track and stay on track. It all seems to be really around my mindset, and with me being stressed out for other reasons, all I want to do is the easiest food possible, and it's not very filling and very satisfying, and then that makes me hungrier and going back to the pantry, just want to binge eat. Honestly, it's just been a roller coaster these last couple weeks. I hesitate to even make a video like this because I know a lot of y'all watch me for motivation's sake. Y'all say it really helps you stay on track and motivated watching, and I never want to be the reason why you have a harder time. But I also feel like there are a lot of us who do go through these moments, and so knowing you're not alone and that we can get through this and break through those barriers is also helpful. Just a little forewarning, this is going to be a chatty video. So if you're the person who likes to leave the comment that I talk too much, you can skip it. Now that I got that out of the way, to all you lovely people who do appreciate me talking and connecting and being real with you, I was talking to somebody on Instagram, Lori. Hi, Lori. And she also is in a place where we're struggling. Hers is different. Mine's consistency issues. Hers is just sometimes our bodies just suck. You know what I mean? And I think I'm in a smush between the two. I do have these weights that my body likes to kind of stabilize at. I'm at one of those weights right now. The 180 mark for me is one of those kind of barriers that I have to work extra hard to push through. Once I'm through it, I can lose about 7 more pounds before I hit another one. It seems to be about every 10 pounds, a little less than that, before I then hit a wall, and it takes a long time for me to push through again. That's okay, because I'm at the mindset of this really does need to be a lifestyle for me. So whenever I get to my weight, I can't just stop. I will gain the weight back, and I'll have to go through all this again. And I cannot go through this all again. The mental and emotional turmoil that, like, being in a constant state of I need to lose weight is horrible. So I'd really love to get the weight off finally and then maintain. I know it's not going to be easy. I know I'm not going to be able to eat a whole bunch of different things and like just go off the rails for the rest of my life. But mentally, when you like the way you look and you feel good, it's just a little bit easier to handle. So I don't want to keep messing around where I'm losing and re-losing the same few pounds over and over again. I really want to push through, break that barrier, and like, all right, let's get on to the next 10-pound little bump. I'm going to Disney in October of 2024. I would absolutely love to be like 160 pounds. That's 20 pounds between now and October. Now, I'm never putting a definite weight on myself. Basically, when I get to a place where I feel good, I look good, it's easy enough to be maintained. Like that's good for me. I don't have a specific number in mind. I think about 150 because that's where I felt comfortable in the past. but I'm not putting a lot of pressure on myself on numbers. I am a different person than I was 5 years ago, and my body might be different than it was 5 years ago. I can already tell you it is. Like, 36 ain't no joke. When you gotta take naproxen sodium every day because your joints be aching, things are different. Okay. So one thing I did learn when I took time off of dieting to kind of help heal that relationship with food is I have learned the habits that I have that cause me to struggle with food. And one of those things that I do is when I'm stressed out, I don't want to put effort into planning breakfast, lunch, snacks, dinner. Like it seems overwhelming to have every little thing I eat planned out throughout the day. And what I end up doing instead is going for the easiest solution. Now, I'm not here to demonize any foods. I think there is a time and a place for all sorts of foods, and processed foods can really help get dinner on the table in a quick and budget-friendly way. So not saying anything about that, but when all I want is to eat something quick out of a box and it is low in protein, low in fiber, low in healthy fat, especially with having PCOS and insulin resistance, all it makes me want to do is eat again really soon and eat really crappy foods really soon, things that are not going to satisfy me and not going to help me. And when I do that enough days in a row, I start feeling depressed. Like legitimate, don't feel like getting out of bed. It's not even worth it. Like, not fun mental place to be depressed. So for my mental sake, for my physical sake, I need to make sure that I am focusing on protein, healthy fat, fiber, 0 point foods. The good thing about WW is a lot of the 0 point foods are good with protein and fiber. They do cost a little bit more for healthy fats, but that's why we have points to use them on things that make us feel good. If I need to use 4 points for almonds because it satisfies me and pair that with an apple and cottage cheese so I can get a little bit of fiber, a little bit of protein, and all I've spent is 4 points, like to me, that's worth it. And I'm gonna feel so much better. I'm gonna feel fuller. So even though I feel like the last thing I wanna do is plan my food, what I need to do is plan my food. So I've been processing some stuff, some information after having a conversation with Lori on Instagram about those behaviors I am exhibiting and how they're causing me negative effects. And instead of like being down on myself and rude to myself, I'm gonna be kind. And you know, you're doing what you can, but we can do better, you know, and really prioritize myself. I think a lot of y'all understand what it means to be a wife and a mom and or a husband and a father. I have a few men. Y'all are here. I see you. What you're willing to sacrifice and the stress you're willing to take on for your family's needs is limitless. You will run to the ends of the earth for your family. But the second we want to take a little bit of that stress for our own needs, we have a hard time. And so, do I have the mental capacity to do it all? Unfortunately not. AM's in progress. But I do have the mental fortitude to take a little slice for myself. And I will only be a better mom and wife if I'm willing to do that. Does that mean maybe the laundry gets put off? Then yeah, maybe the laundry gets put off. Maybe my daughter and husband help with that. My husband's great, by the way, with helping. So the gist of it is, let's do a what I eat in a day. And I'm gonna use some stuff that I already have at the house. I went grocery shopping a while ago, but now we've had to eat out so much with this construction situation going on that I have random bits here. I also did a Trader Joe's haul, so I have random stuff of that. I would like to share in a later video of how I eat the stuff, but for now, I really need to focus on protein, fiber, healthy fat, 0 point foods. I want those things at every single meal that I eat, and in a way where it isn't stressing me out to the max. Having some cottage cheese with some almonds is not stressful. You know, cutting up the apple on the side, it's not a stressful thing, but you have to have the food here so that you can make it happen. You have to have the fortitude to be like, you know what, I probably should eat something like that. Instead of just saying, you know, I don't really feel like doing it and I'm just gonna go to the pantry. So a little bit of effort, a little bit of pre-planning, making sure I have the food here. That's the goal today. So I might do a few groceries just to help plug in some holes that I'm missing, and then patch some stuff together of what I already have, because I have a full pantry and I need to use some of that stuff. So let's get into this, what I eat in a day. For Thanksgiving, my sister and mom came, so I bought this French vanilla because they really like it. I don't like it as much, but I'm cheap and this is like $5. So I'm finishing it. I've got, you know, a little bit left. So when I go to the grocery store, I'm going to buy my favorite creamer, which is the purple bottle, the Italian sweet cream. My friend bought that when I went to Hot Springs, and I asked her what she thought about it because she's not a sugar-free galley. She's not dieting or anything like that. And she said she could taste a twang. So if you're not used to sugar-free creamers, maybe you'll taste a twang. I've been doing sugar-free creamers for years, and so I don't taste a twang at all of whatever like the sugar-free stuff is. So you can have up to 6 tablespoons for 2 points, 3 tablespoons for 1 point. So that's why I like it, because I can have 2 cups of coffee for 2 points, and I love the flavor of it, and I like how it pairs with all the other things. Another thing I have been super inconsistent on is my Ovasitol. I remember to take the one in the morning because I throw out my coffee. I've been terrible at taking the evening dose. This is for insulin resistance. If you are a PCOS girly, you need to be taking something. This is a form of inositol, however you want to say it. There's berberine, there's metformin. Talk to your doctor and figure out what you need to do to help get your insulin levels under control. Because if you are struggling with binge eating, insulin could be a giant part of it. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to leave this out on the counter. I've been putting it away. I'm going to leave it out. And so tonight I'll see it and be like, me and you, we have a date. I need to take you again. Because when I take this consistently, breakfast and lunch, or just twice a day, just put a couple hours in between them. If you want to do it for lunch, if you want to do it for dinner, if you want to do it in the evening, whatever. Throw it in some water. It's flavorless. When I do this twice a day, it makes a difference on my cravings. So I need to get back to it. But again, first coffee. It's time for breakfast. We're focusing on getting fiber, protein, 0-point food with our meals. So I have my 2 pieces of Sara Lee bread here. It's 45 calorie. I like the hearty multigrain. This one has 5 grams of protein and fiber with 2 slices of bread. So magic right there. Already have some good protein and fiber. This is peanut butter powder. I have 2 tablespoons of the peanut butter powder mixed with about 1.5 tablespoons of water. This also gets us protein and fiber, and it's delicious because it's any form of peanut butter. Sometimes I add the maple-free syrup to this just to give it a little bit of sweetness, but I'm gonna add honey today at the end, so I'm not gonna add the maple syrup. If you have more points, doing this with like real almond butter is absolutely delicious. Now I wanna add a 0-point food at each snack/meal. So today I'm going with banana because they happen to be exactly how I like them. Just gonna slice this up. And I don't eat that part because there's something very wrong about those parts to me. Nope, can't do it. All right. I want a tiny bit of honey just drizzled on. I'm gonna like have it angled where I can see it too. This is just a food scale I got off Amazon. I use it all the time. I'm gonna go to grams because that is the most accurate way of measuring. I have honey here. If I can keep it under 2 grams, it's no points. If I go between 3 to 6 grams, it's 1 point. So we're just gonna see how much it ends up being. I'm gonna barely do any. I really just want like the slightest kiss of honey. There you go. So I'm not even gonna count it. So this, just like this, is 3 points. So you have 2 points for the bread, 1 point for the peanut butter powder, 0 points for the honey, 0 points for the banana. It's 0 points for the honey because I've measured it out and made sure I got just under 2 grams. I did the slightest drizzle, and it starts to mix with the actual peanut or the banana, and it looks like it has a lot more on there than it actually is. But this is absolutely delicious. 3 points plus whatever coffee you have with it. And I'm going to be full and satisfied for a good amount of time with this meal. I could also add some pumpkin seeds on top if I wanted to add a little bit more for 0 points. There was a comment saying that they count for points on theirs. On mine, if I do the green raw pumpkin seeds, pepitas, it is 0 points. And that's how I have them. They're green, they're raw. That's how I got them from the grocery store. So I'm going to count them from 0 for 1 tablespoon. I'm not going to do that today. But I do often do that. So, all right, cheers. Lunch is leftovers because we love putting effort in one time and eating many times from it. So this is the leftover honey garlic beef with snap peas and 2/3 cup of jasmine rice to the side of this because, again, I want to shove in as many 0 point foods as I can. I'm going to have some unsweetened applesauce that I've added a ton of cinnamon to because that's how I like it. So 12 points for lunch. They came back. We are going to make some 2-ingredient dough strombolis, but I'm going to use what I already have at the house. This is going to be a messy process. If you have rings on, I recommend taking them off, making sure your hands are really clean because you're going to get them in there nice and dirty. So for a 2-ingredient dough, if you've never made it, it's using equal parts self-rising flour with plain Greek yogurt. I want to make 4 servings, so I am using 1 cup of each because 1/4 cup of each is 1 serving. So you're going to get this mashed together as good as you can with your spoon, but it's not going to come together until you get your hands in there and really knead it. I have experimented with this dough a couple times, and I do think it works best if you knead it for a couple minutes and then let it rest for 15 minutes. I was in a hurry, so I really didn't do that today. So my dough is a little bit more fragile than it would be. But you see how I'm turning it around in my hand like this? Do this for about 3 minutes on your cutting board or whatever your work surface is, and then let it rest for 15 minutes for the best possible dough. I didn't do that. Like I said, I was in a hurry, so I just got it to come together, and then I let it rest for about 5 minutes while I was getting other stuff done, clearly washing my hands here, and then just cover it with a towel. Like I said, let it rest for 15 minutes if you have the time. Then we're going to use extra self-rising flour that I just keep on the side of my board here so that it doesn't stick because this stuff is so sticky. Now, if you've kneaded it and let it rest, it will be easier to work with, but obviously I didn't do that, so it can still be managed. I have this tiny little fondant roller here, so I can't find my normal size fondant roller. So I'm going to roll this into kind of like a sausage log because I want these oblong or like rectangular shape. So starting off with that sausage log just helps get that shape. Anytime you feel it sticking, add a little bit of flour. I mean, it ended up being about 1 tablespoon of flour per serving. So if you really want to do 1/4 cup and 1 tablespoon on your points, you can, but I'm not going to bother with it. I don't see the need to be stressed out with it that way. When I get it to this nice rectangular shape, I'm going to add some cheese. I just cut these in half so they can go long ways. I'm linking the stromboli ingredients down for the Weight Watchers app. It's 7 points for the stromboli. It's normally with ham and the turkey pepperoni, but I already have turkey on hand, so that's what I'm using because we're using what we have. Normally I do 6 slices of the turkey pepperoni, but you can get 12 for 1 point. So I'm just doing all stinking 12. Let's just load it up and then adding more of that 0 point turkey. Now we want to roll this sideways. So from corner to corner. And again, mine's a little bit more breakable because I didn't do it properly, but that's okay. We made it work. Once you get it rolled up, you want to pinch these sides together so nothing oozes out, and then you're going to fold it underneath. And you're going to do that to all your little babies. Once they're all done, you're going to spray them with some kind of oil. This time I use canola oil. And then you're going to add Italian seasoning and garlic powder to the top. Do not skip this step. It is amazing what a difference just these little seasonings on top make. You could probably even mix this into the flour when you're mixing it. It'd probably be delicious that way too.
But there's something really delicious about the way it smells when it's baking with all those spices and seasonings on top. Here it looks like after it's been baked for about 23 minutes. That's just a side of marinara. I'm using the H-E-B healthy marinara because it's what I had on hand again. You see a theme here. And then I already had on hand frozen corn and frozen broccoli. So I went ahead and I air fried the broccoli and microwaved the corn just to get myself some good 0-point sides that are going to be nice and filling. And you can see how melty and delicious this is. This is a really good meal. Really simple meal, but it feels a little bit more elevated. Now for snack, I had some grapes. And my dog was trying to eat them, but he can't eat them because it's bad for dogs. So yeah, be careful there. And I used 24 points out of 23 points. So I went into my weeklies by 1 point, but I am not mad about that at all. I had a lot of delicious food this day, and I'm already feeling better about this whole situation and the holidays. So thank you for being here and being my ear. Y'all are awesome.